Yeah, I hope that you hearing me. This is the future, all about cybersecurity. Talking about the hackers, I'm just trying to warn you. From the one and only legend, the Cyber Informer. Hey, thanks for joining the podcast. Time to get it hype. This I know you gonna like, giving you some insight. They try to hack in your database, homie, not today. Thinking they can escape with your data and without a trace. Oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down like, oh yeah. This is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down, yeah.
It's time for Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast, the podcast. This is episode 13, The Final Word. This episode is brought to you by Loyal IT Solutions. For all of your IT business needs, visit loyalit.com.au for more information on how we can help your business. And by the Gosford Erina Business Chamber. To have your business voice heard, become a member now. Visit us at gebc.com.au. And by the Australian Federal Government. Welcome to Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast, the podcast. I am Michael Tremblett, the Cyber Informer at cyber_informer on Twitter. This is the final podcast episode in the Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast series. So what we'll do is bring together some of what we've learned over the last 12 months and talk about the perfectly secure small-medium business. I say perfectly secure, but if you've been listening to the podcast over the last 12 months, you'll know there is no such thing as perfectly secure. We're aiming to make you not the lowest hanging fruit so hackers won't target you. I know small and medium business do not have huge budgets for cybersecurity, which is why we have focused on DIY and sharing information during the course of this initiative, because knowing is half the battle. As the initiative draws to a close, I want to thank the federal government. Without their support, none of this would have been possible. Thank you to the Gosford Erina Business Chamber, whose forward thinking and care for the local business community helped strengthen the pitch to the federal government for the Loyal IT Solutions-led initiative. And thank you to Loyal IT Solutions for caring enough about local businesses to want to help spread awareness of cybersecurity and cybersecurity-related issues to as many businesses as possible. While I'm thanking people, I want to thank Robert Matthews, my offsider, and Loyal IT's other cybersecurity expert. Many of you would have had interactions with Robert over the last 12 months as he assessed your businesses and provided you with one-on-one cybersecurity advice. It's funny, we set out to bring cybersecurity awareness to only the New South Wales Central Coast region, but we ended up going nationwide with over 80 assessments being performed in every state except Northern Territory and Tasmania. Word would never have gotten out there without the support of the Australian Cybersecurity Centre and Joint Cybersecurity Centre in Sydney. Thank you to these fantastic government departments. And thank you to the businesses that participated. You are the reason we ran the initiative. Businesses who wanted to know more about cybersecurity, how to protect themselves, and importantly, where to start. Thank you to all of the guests I've had on the podcast, including Gabby Bowles from the Central Coast Mariners, whose Facebook was hacked, Anna Cruikshank from Aubrey Brown Lawyers, whose identity was stolen, Richard Cotter from SoftGen Australia, whose knowledge on the insurance industry was very insightful, and thank you to Eugene Orr, who shared his story on how his Instagram account was hacked. The podcast wouldn't have been the success it is without your participation. And thank you to Joe Goodwin from bigjoepro.com.au for editing all of the videos and the podcasts over the last 12 months. Now that I think I've thanked everyone, let's jump into today's topic, the perfectly secure small and medium business. Before we talk about the perfectly secure small-medium business, I want to reiterate the title is tongue-in-cheek, as there is no such thing as perfect security. If there were a single product to secure everything, you should invest in that company because everyone will want what they are selling. Sadly, that product is impossible to produce due to the nearly infinite number of combinations of equipment, network configurations, and software products. This is why we need experts who can analyze your networks and products and offer solutions to the security holes you face. The final video in the Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast initiative is the Perfectly Secure Small Medium Business Part 2, which looks at priorities for securing your business. There are 24 items in priority order, but I thought we'd use this podcast to look at the top 10 recommendations. At number 10, we have web filtering. Use web filtering as a safeguard for the situation where your staff accidentally clicks on a malicious link either from email or a website. We want to make sure there is a technical control in place so they can't load a malicious website, which is where malware and viruses will typically come from. DNS filtering or web filtering is technology designed to be the last line of defense just in case the wrong link is clicked on or the wrong website is accessed. The layers of protection in the defense in-depth strategy is spam filter, antivirus, SentinelOne EDR, then web filtering. This will significantly decrease your risk of being infected by malware or viruses. Number 9 is antivirus and EDR. As touched on in the last priority, we should look to bolster our defense in-depth strategy by including a standard antivirus and EDR product. If antivirus doesn't detect it, EDR will be the backstop to clean up any infection. The Essential 8 recommends antivirus to be deployed, however, you can go one step better. EDR will help detect and remove malicious applications with the added benefit of giving you enough information for a post-incident review, which is recommended by the federal government. Priority 8 is patch applications. Implementing a patching regime for applications where we don't just concentrate on Windows, Mac OS, and your internet-connected devices. This can be harder to manage because many applications don't have an automated update or notification system, meaning you will have to go and find the updates manually. This is harder to manage, but typically getting your IT provider involved to assist with regular maintenance of your network is recommended. Patch operating systems is priority 7. Keeping on the theme of prevention is better than a cure, patching operating systems is key to keeping the hackers out. If you listen to the previous podcast episodes, you will know that in 2021 calendar year, Microsoft patched 958 vulnerabilities. 102 of these were critical and 24 were known to be exploited. These vulnerabilities are what hackers live for. Could a vulnerability in your computer system lead to a full compromise of your network? The answer is yes. This is why patching operating systems is extremely important. It can be free if you want to manage it yourself, but your managed service provider or IT support company will have the ability to manage these updates for you. It's worth looking into. Priority 9 was antivirus and EDR, which is after patching operating systems and applications in the priority list, because for antivirus to work as intended, it assumes you have installed the most recent Windows and Mac updates. Not doing updates may leave holes that even the antivirus and EDR can't protect against. Priority 6 is to stop incoming and outgoing spam. Spam is a big issue for email, both personally and professionally. Implementing a spam detection system is a good start, however, it can't catch everything. Spammers are smart and will adjust their spam emails just enough to fool anti-spam systems. This is the first line of defense in your defense in-depth strategy. As over 91% of all cyber attacks start with an email, it makes sense to implement a spam filter. If you don't see the email in your inbox, then you are not tempted to click on it, potentially sending you to a malicious website. If a malicious email does get through and you do click on it, you have your antivirus, EDR, and web filtering to prevent the infection of your computer and network. At priority 5, we have regular backups. This should be a staple for any business. For small and medium business, a backup that conforms to the 321 backup framework is a must. The 321 backup framework is a robust backup solution which covers you for almost any situation you may find yourself in a small business. 321 is 3 copies of your data, 2 different media, such as USB hard drive and NAS device, and take 1 off-site. For redundancy, you should have at least 1 USB hard drive for each day you work. So, if you work Monday to Saturday, you should have 6 USB hard drives, which are labeled Monday to Saturday. If you have Microsoft 365, use a cloud backup service such as Skykick. The federal government recommends you test backup recovery every quarter or at least every 6 months. Priority 4 is to use an ad blocker. This is really simple to do and can increase your security by blocking potentially malicious advertising. My favorite ad blocker is uBlock Origin, which is available for free for all major browsers, and it works without any other configuration. Priority 3 is hardening your web browser by enabling some of the security features within the browser. You just need to turn them on or off depending on the setting. You can strengthen the security of your browser by enabling tracking protection, disabling third-party cookies, and if you have Microsoft Edge, enable super duper secure mode. We've also talked about removing Java and Flash if you have them installed on your computer, as these applications are notoriously insecure. At number 2, we have disabling of Microsoft Office macro settings. If you don't use macros, disable them in Microsoft Office. In fact, after 25 years, Microsoft has decided that macros should be disabled by default. So in a future update, you will see macros disabled by default, which in my opinion is a great step forward. If you need macros to run in your workplace, then you need to set up macro security, so only authorized macros run. This is a tough configuration to get right, so it would be best to do this in conjunction with an experienced IT professional, especially if you are on a large network. And our number 1 security measure you need to be implementing immediately is multi-factor authentication. Enable multi-factor authentication on as many applications and web services as you can. Lock down your social media accounts and any other high-value accounts that hackers may want to access, such as your bank or other credit services. A strong password and multi-factor authentication will increase your security online immediately with little more than some of your time and effort. Multi-factor authentication is free and will increase your security online immediately. Just do it. So that's it. With the countdown complete, let's now move on to what happened in the real world. It was again another surprisingly quiet month on the security front. Last podcast, we reported that Windows had a total of 196 Windows vulnerabilities patched. Now, at the end of March 2022, we had 288, with 12 being critical and none exploited. There have been some really high priority vulnerabilities this year, but so far, touch wood, there haven't been any huge vulnerabilities like Print Nightmare or Log4j. Okay, let's wrap up the podcast. And with the end of this podcast, I will sign off on the Cybersecurity Business Connect and Protect Central Coast Initiative. Again, I would like to thank the federal government, the Gosford Erina Business Chamber, and Loyal IT Solutions. Thank you to everyone that has asked me questions both face-to-face and online. These questions helped fuel the podcast and videos in the Academy. Thanks for listening for the last 12 months. It has been a blast, and I hope you have learned how important cybersecurity is for your business. Now, for the final time, stay safe online.
Oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down like, oh yeah, this is the Cyber Informer. Hackers, you going down, yeah.